I want you to think about all the times today that you made a plan. Did you consider the environment that the plan would take place in, what steps you had to take to complete it, who all would be involved, or how did you mentally prepare? We make a game plan for pretty much everything in our lives, but how is it that sleep, which fuels our entire day, often gets left behind? Today, we're going to talk about the physical and social environments that our sleep takes place in and how they can be assets instead of liabilities to our sleep plan. Within today's webinar, we'll talk about our social environment and how this includes bed sharing with other people or pets, screen usage like using our electronics or phones before bed, and then mealtime routines and how what we do during the day with those can impact our sleep at night. Additionally, we'll talk about our physical environment and how positioning affects our bodies and problems we may run into with temperature, noise, and light, and how to fix them, as well as just general environmental modifications you can make for a good night's sleep. Whether you think about it or not, sleep is a social experience. It's kind of weird to think about because we're not conscious during sleep, but for about 82% of couples married or co living together, they do share the same bed. In addition, from this same poll, 32% reported sleeping with a child or a pet as well. Bed sharing is not just with a partner, but it is defined as any person sharing a single mattress with another person or a pet. This could be parent and child, partner, sibling, or pet and owner. So, and today we'll focus on the partner and pet and owner dyads. Couples often perceive their sleep to be better when sleeping with their partner. Sleep quality is closely related to relationship quality, and sleep quality and marital quality are very interconnected. Most couples feel that they sleep better when together, but research actually shows that for females specifically as well, they sleep better when on their own. However, they did feel like they slept better whenever they were with their partner. Unfortunately, some partners do run into difficulties when attempting to share the same bed. Um, a survey conducted in the American Academy of Sleep Science said that about one third of couples are opting for a sleep divorce, which essentially means is that they're prioritizing their sleep quality and they may not be sleeping in the same bed or in the same room as they were with their spouse. Couples who do experience problems when sharing the same bed but do want to still continue to sleep together may consider the following strategies. Number one is if one partner has excessive movement, if they're restless and just tossing and turning constantly throughout the night and it's disrupting the other partner, it may be a good idea to invest in a mattress with good motion isolation or a split adjustable bed, which allows that feeling of togetherness while each person kind of gets to have their own mattress. This is also helpful if temperature differences exist. If one person is really prone to feel hot all the time and the other person's usually pretty cold. And another thing that couples are doing is sleeping Scandinavian style, which is when they share the same bed, but they have different bedding. For snoring, if one person snores and it keeps the other person up, you may consider investing in an adjustable bed or sleeping with a wedge pillow under the back so that way it elevates them and that snoring may not be such an issue. However, if the snoring does persist and it really bothers the other person, you may consider checking with your physician and screening for sleep apnea. Another thing is edge support. This refers to the parameter of your mattress. Choosing a mattress with a solid edge support can help prevent sagging and is especially important for those partners who do have mobility issues. If you and your partner have alternating sleep schedules and you'll kind of tend to wake one another up in the middle of the night or whatever time of day it is, you may consider trying to coordinate your schedules together so one person is not being so interrupted. Or you can invest in things like eye mask, white noise machines, and earplugs. Nearly half of dog and cat owners share a bed with their pet. Pet bed sharing has been associated with lower sleep efficiency and lower and increased wakefulness after sleep onset, as well as disrupted sleep associated with their pet's movement. This could be due to the fact that humans are monophasic when it comes to their sleep cycles, and pets are typically polyphasic, which means that they have about 3 sleep wake cycles per night. Although some studies suggest that over half of pet owners report that their pets wake them up nightly, the majority of owners do not believe that their pets disturb their sleep at all. Rather, they believe that their pets are a comfort whenever it comes to being to sleep. Although pets do statistically provide sleep problems for their owners, it seems that the psychological benefits of that the owners perceive is outweighing those disturbances. If you are having trouble sleeping due to your pet, here are some strategies that you may want to consider.
You can set boundaries by keeping them out of the bedroom or using a pet bed. You can also create a consistent routine by giving them regular feeding times, pre bedtime exercise, and toilet breaks before bed. And you can minimize nocturnal activity by avoiding exciting playtime right before bed and providing them with quiet entertainment like toys that keep them occupied should they wake up during the middle of the night.
Another part of our social environment is the routines that we complete before bed. For example, screen use. 80% of people looked at screens very or somewhat often during the day within their past week. 68% in the evening, and 58% 1 hour before bed. Studies show that screen exposure at least 2 hours before bed is extremely harmful to the sleep wake cycle. Very frequent bedtime screen users reported trouble falling asleep on average 2.6 days out of the week, as compared to the 1.8 days among those who rarely or never use screens before bed, because it throws off the sleep wake cycle and increases internal arousal. Additionally, mealtime consistency is also very important to consider whenever you're trying to regulate the body clock. Irregular meal times or skip meals can negatively influence the ability to maintain sleep and wake schedules, especially if the meals are eaten too close to bedtime. 4 in 10 Americans are not eating meals at the same times every day. Those with more mealtime consistency are scoring higher in their sleep quality. Now, I want you to think about, in the past week, how often did you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep due to your positioning? We will review several positions and make recommendations so that you can make the best choice for your comfort.
One of the best sleep positions is side sleeping, as it helps maintain proper spinal alignment, reduces snoring and sleep apnea symptoms, and is beneficial for digestion and heart health. People opt for side sleeping 54.1% of the time, and if you have back pain and prefer sleeping on your side, you may find it helpful to sleep with a pillow between your knees to help spinal alignment as seen in the picture. This position may also be helpful if you suffer from acid reflux symptoms, such as heartburn or regurgitation. What you want to focus on here is keeping your head elevated above the rest of your body through using a pillow or adjustable bed to prevent anything from traveling upward. While there are benefits of side sleeping, your shoulders and hips are pressure points. So if you do not have a mattress that helps ease pressure, you may find yourself sore in the morning. You can help this by sleeping with flat pillows under these areas if they seem to be a problem, and this will help distribute pressure along your body.
Second position is sleeping on your back.
If you are a back sleeper, finding a medium firm mattress is extremely important. This position is useful to prevent neck, shoulder, and back pain because it supports natural spinal alignment, and sleeping with a pillow underneath your knees may help to distribute pressure if you suffer from lower back pain. However, if you struggle with sleep apnea, this position may worsen symptoms because it allows gravity to pull the tongue and soft tissue in the throat backwards, potentially blocking the airway, which can lead to increased snoring and interrupted breathing. Additionally, studies have shown people with GERDs are more likely to experience prolonged symptoms such as heartburn while sleeping on their backs. One study showed that sleeping on the left side helped to clear symptoms up a little bit faster. Sleeping on the stomach is the third and final position. This position is only really recommended if that's the only position you can sleep in. This is because it pushes your spine out of alignment, leading to worsening chronic back and neck pain issues. It can also increase the load on spinal tissue, hampering recovery and potentially creating spinal issues. If you are a stomach sleeper, you'll typically want a firmer mattress to help elevate your hips and keep everything in alignment. On the positive side, sleeping on the stomach can minimize symptoms if you have sleep apnea. Research shows that this position can reduce hypoapnea, which is restricted breathing, and apnea, which is stop breathing episodes, and improve oxygen levels in the blood. It can also help with position dependent snoring.
So let's review. We talked about how bed sharing, routine, and positioning can all affect your sleep. But now let's talk about the more physical surrounding, such as temperature, noise, light, and any other tips that might be useful when trying to get a good night's sleep. So, first, let's talk about temperature.
We learned that when we fall asleep, our body temperature drops, which causes melatonin levels to increase in our body, which make us feel sleepy, the blood vessels in our hands and feet to widen to help cool our cores and promote sleep, and blood flow continues to adjust to keep our body temperature regulated.
So, now that we've learned how the body adjusts its temperature to help us fall asleep, there may be some things in our environment that we can do to help speed up these processes. Research tells us that the ideal temperature for a great night's sleep is going to be between 66 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Our skin should ideally be 88 to 95 degrees, and under our covers should be 90 to 93 degrees with 40 to 60% humidity. Now, this does not mean that every time we fall asleep, we have to get our thermometer out and make sure that everything is just right. However, it does give us a good window and baseline to kind of reference towards in order to get that sleep that we've been striving so hard for. Second is that surrounding noise plays a really big role whenever it comes to a good night's rest, whether we are conscious of it or not. We're all victims to nocturnal noise, such as local traffic, music, neighbors, plumbing.
All of these things have the potential to impact our sleep, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Nocturnal noise affects our sleep by increasing the amount of times that we awaken throughout the night. It also increases the amount of time that we spend in our lighter stages of sleep, such as N1 and N2 stages, and suppresses our deep and REM stages of sleep.
What can we do to help this? Well, we can eliminate some things like turning off the TV, making sure that we're doing laundry during the day. And if neighbors are an issue, you can try and pray the conversation goes well to kind of have a chat with them about that as well. But if there are those cases where we really that noise is out of our control, we can try sound reducing strategies like earplugs or sound masking like white noise to improve our sleep. Now let's talk about its light and its role on our sleep from day to day. Light exposure is extremely important when it comes to regulating our circadian rhythms. We really need that light exposure in the morning to kind of help us wake up, but light exposure throughout the day is just as important in helping us sleep through the night and set our body clocks. Research shows that it's important to get at least 3 hours and then no more than five. People in that time range spending it outside really had better sleep than those who did not. Now, some overall strategies you can incorporate into your sleep plan are to encourage going to bed and waking up at the same times. Although it can be kind of difficult, having that regular sleep schedule is extremely important for our bodies. This is recommended because it allows the different processes we talked about earlier, like our circadian and homeostatic processes, to be the most in sync with one another and regulate our sleep wakefulness. We are more likely to get less sleep and awake more when our schedules are shifted. Irregular sleep schedules are associated with greater daytime sleepiness and worse self reported sleep quality. You also want to avoid naps that are going to be greater than 30 minutes and not nap too close to whenever you're going to be going to sleep at night. It also may be helpful to take a warm bath before bed because this makes us feel more sleepy. Body temperature drops once we actually get into bed, um, and kind of helps our core cool a little bit faster due to that drastic change. So I want you to think, did any of these stick out to you? If you feel like there's one or two that you can start implementing now, go for it. Track your progress and see how you're able to improve your sleep. And then as you feel more confident, you can go ahead and build more strategies that you feel like may be more applicable to you. Thank you.